I'm Mercedes Harris, and I'm a software sales executive for IBM, and been working with IBM for the past 6 years in public sector. So initially, I really was interested in chemistry and chemical engineering, which my background is in, because I created this mock slime. Well, it was real slime, but created this slime in a chemistry class in high school. And so I ran to my chemistry teacher and asked him, who does this for a living? Like, what career? And he told me a chemical engineer. So that was my decision from my, I think, sophomore, junior year in high school that I would be a chemical engineer. I realized very early on that I wanted to go into business, and I come from a very entrepreneurial family, so it was very natural to want to do business. And I realized later in life that though I loved chemistry and I love science, and I still do, what most intrigued me was the actual selling the product of the slime. So I went to business school and ended up eventually getting into sales and marketing, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I think one of the biggest obstacles, there are two big obstacles that probably have helped me once I learned to master them that have been beneficial. And one is patience. I am very driven and have sort of this impatience about waiting on when there's the right time. And so a lot of times it I have to just kind of make sure that I'm not in a haste and a rush. And once I slow down and understand that, yep, I have a timeline to accomplish things by X, Y, Z time, but this is actually what the reality is, I've been much more successful. And the other thing is being flexible. Um, I think being a driven person, sometimes you have a tendency to want things to go a specific way. And if it doesn't, then you're disappointed. But being flexible with the circumstances, whether it's career or life, has helped me a lot. And also not necessarily giving control to anyone else, really taking ownership of my destiny and where I'd like to go. And then instead of feeling helpless and not allowing, feeling helpless and blaming people for my situation, is actually using those people to empower me to get to where I would like to go. So I would say the thing that I've accomplished that I set a goal to do and I'm really proud of is the fact that I just came back from an international assignment in Australia. And it's interesting because I was told that really you have to spend a lot more years than what I was able to do at IBM in particular before you were granted a role overseas. And it was just an amazing experience in the way that I sort of stretched myself and had to learn out of the box. I just can't believe how much I grew as a person. And it was literally a goal that I set for myself probably a good 10 years ago. And it just, again, I've talked about flexibility and patience and waiting on the right time. All of the things aligned for the timing, and I was able to go over and really actually make a difference there. So I'm really proud of that and really happy, and happy to be back home to figure out what the next chapter is. I think being a woman has totally helped my career in the sense that I've been in male dominated fields pretty much all of my career as an engineer, for pretty technical product as well as in technology. A lot of times I'm the only female in the room. And I'm pretty used to that. Where it helps is that I have diversity in my thinking and the way that I pay attention to details and how I like to accomplish things, that it has, I think, helped and created variety of doing things a different way, where a lot of times I'm breaking the tradition of how things have been done, and it has helped me in my career because I actually have value to add. So I'm not ashamed, and probably going to a women's college helped build the confidence that I should never be ashamed of being a woman. It actually is something very powerful, and men and women both can come to the table and provide ideas and solutions and work together. So um, I haven't had it work against me when there are situations when people are threatened by a drive as a woman. I'm actually prepared to deal with that so that I can help educate people that aren't used to being around women like me. I think having come from a culture in Australia where, in some respects, they're a lot more traditional than we are here in America, just the dynamics between men and women, I've had to definitely deal with things that I didn't expect to. And so I would say, when you're in the situation and what I've seen, how you rid people of, I guess, their ignorance is through education. So I think a lot of times as women, we have this tendency to go silent. That's how we respond. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to lose my job. I don't. So for me, the only way that you correct the behavior is really by standing up and speaking up. And so whether we see that happening to another woman, whether it happens to ourselves, like we need to speak up for ourselves in order to eliminate things that are inappropriate. So unfortunately, there's still repercussions for that potentially, but we have to take the risk, just as people did before us. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities as women that we have access to because someone stood up for us. So we need to keep doing that. I would love to see in my lifetime for women to not have to even discuss the fact that they're being paid equally. The fact that we're in 2014 and we're still having a debate that really is mind-boggling to me. And then the other thing is about women having to choose between life and, I mean, their family life and career. I think the way the society is set up currently, it's very easy for a man to have a career because it's expected that their wife will be home with their child. So what is wrong with a man staying home with the children? Why is that looked down upon? And I think that's changing, but it's still not really equally accepted. So wanting, having it where you have a flexible family and you're not criticized based on the choices that you make for your career. So it was ironic. I was just talking to a friend of mine about sales and how it's such a lucrative career. And I brought reality to him, even though he wasn't female. I explained to him that though there's high risk, high reward, you have to be prepared to be um, not take things personally, because sales is sort of like being in the captain of the ship or in the front of the ship. Though if you find treasure, you're going to be the first one to get it and you'll really, reward from it. But when the storms come, boy, you are the first one getting beat up. So it's being able to have a tough skin, and then I think another reason my field is not as dominated by women is it's also usually a lot of travel and not necessarily work-life balance. You spend a lot of hours working. So being prepared to have that. And so it's a lot easier when you don't have a family. But when you have a family, it's having boundaries and lines of where you draw the line and where you stop. But also, I believe we need to reflect the customers that we serve. And so having 90% of the sales force being men is just not acceptable. So I strongly encourage women to go into sales, and I love what I do. But it's also a very emotional career, and you have your highs and your lows. And if you can prepare yourself to deal with that, then you definitely could do well. So I can't believe I'm actually admitting this, but I do have a shopping problem. But I also sell on eBay. So a lot of times I will want to buy something and then I convince myself that I can buy it because I can sell something else and make up for the money. So that's definitely, like, I'm still selling even in my downtime. And then the other thing that really, and I was disconnected from it for a while through business school, and then I'm a mom. So when I first had my child, I spent a good amount of years where I wasn't giving back to the community. And it was really one of the most miserable experiences because I've pretty much been volunteering, I think, since I was about maybe 12 years old actively. And so it just was so, I've been blessed so much. It really feels selfish sometimes when I'm not doing something to help someone else. So a lot of times my downtime is, what can I do to help mentor someone, or there's some project I need to be involved with. I'm very involved with the Rotary International Organization. So just that takes up a lot of my time. But I feel that, again, it's really my duty to give back because I've been given so many things and so many opportunities. For some reason, I keep thinking of porcupine, but I'm like, I don't know. And I think I'm going to go with the porcupine if I was an animal because, people who have dealt with me, they may think, oh, wow, you have to be careful around her and it seems sharp, but a lot of that is sort of just this shell that I've had to create to protect myself but in the inside, I'm really a really sweet and kind, gentle person. So, and also probably the other thing about being a porcupine is, um, people have a tendency of seeing me and thinking they know who I am, right? So you judge it like, oh, don't touch that. So you wouldn't touch a porcupine, but in reality, I'm really unpredictable, and so there'll be things that I enjoy. Like I enjoy Broadway musicals, and people would have no idea. Like I could literally go and dance and sing around the house all day if you let me. But so there, I've had a variety of experiences that have created me into the person that I am, and so but I also have had to kind of protect myself because I am like this gentle spirit. So it's sort of like this mixed combination of a little bit like protected, but also very gentle.